The Vikings have made their decision. Kyler Murray is going to be QB1 over JJ McCarthy, and we have Kevin O'Connell on deck. And I want to hear exactly how he talks about both quarterbacks because I think that's going to tell us a lot more about this decision instead of just who got the job. So let's get to it.
A lot of, I know there's a lot of kind of reports and things out there regarding our quarterback situation, and just wanted to start out and say, we did, after some dialogue in house and just kind of daily, analyzing the overall of where we're at right now, we did name Kyler Murray our starting quarterback. From the outset of the off season, I think we've been really intentional, open about kind of the goal of creating just a competitive environment filled with wildly capable players that could then obviously elevate our quarterback room through that process, and in doing so, elevate our team. We wanted a group of guys that would challenge each other every day, regardless of what point they're at in their own personal quarterback journeys. And we've got four guys in four different places in time in their journeys, knowing that the competition and really the daily competition, the meeting room, the walkthroughs, the practices would help continue to press things forward and upward and onward. I'm really proud of how Kyler and JJ went about their business. They've been great teammates. The quarterback room is an important place, and I think it's been one of which there's been a lot of high-level ball, great dialogue amongst all the players with Josh and Jordan and myself. When they're in there, they embrace the competition, and ultimately I do think, there's been improvement. I think there's been guys really with positive feelings towards their own individual outlook on things, as well as, our team's confidence in the position. I'm also really appreciative of the rest of our players, coaches, Nolan and his personnel staff, the collaboration that's kind of took place amongst everybody as we really wanted to, kind of do this for, as many of the purposeful, right reasons to help it be a healthy, good outcome. I also, think that from how we did the reps to, the types of, flows involvement from a standpoint of looks that, we gave the guys different challenges on different days, while letting them, kind of compete at the same stride early on in camp. It's been a true competition, and we feel like we're at a place, where we've made a complete evaluation. I kind of always had, and we had this timeline as Nolan and I worked through the summer, kind of talking about what we wanted this to look like. Right around now, feeling like between 9 practices and another day of, a little bit lower volume physical work, but same type of thing above the neck mental, we would have a good idea of kind of where guys were at, and would want to provide clarity not only for the players involved, but most importantly for our team, our offense, and the direction that we're going to go, so we can really start honing in on exactly what we're going to be offensively and how we're going to play complementary in all 3 phases. And I think we feel like we accomplished a lot of those things, and like excited about it, like I said. But in the short time, just speaking about Kyler, I think he's demonstrated what he's capable of. Both the experience he has playing at a high level in this league, but also his experience now of coming in here, being challenged. And I think he's shown enough to really project with the right prerequisite now of work for a starter leading into a camp, that we can get the rhythm, the timing, we can get the mastery of our system and this year's system, regardless of what we've done in previous years, what we're going to look like, how we're going to play. There's different things and nuances that, we're going to fit to what our players, Kyler included, do the best. And, in my opinion, he's got the skill set and the abilities, not only just from a standpoint of accuracy, but his ability to affect the game with his athleticism. But he's also proven to be smart, very hardworking, and able to take in a lot of information and churn that out. Now we really want to give him the opportunity to really start building a comfort level, not only with the system, but with the guys. In no way does this diminish anything that JJ's demonstrated. There's been real strong, solid evidence of growth Some of the things we really pinpointed for him in the off seasons, he's shown just a tireless commitment to doing those things, and it's shown up out here on the grass, and even more so than that, he's embraced it, the challenge of it, with the right mindset every day that I think will have great benefit, on him moving forward, this daily improvement mindset. And clearly, as we've learned over the years, and nothing changes as far as JJ being an incredibly important member of our quarterback room and our team, as we need to make sure the original intent of what all of this was. We feel like we're on our way to doing that with a lot of work to still go. I'm confident in our entire quarterback room. Speaking on that point, I think Carson and Max have both shown in somewhat limited reps, trying to get those other guys reps, not only what they're capable of, but where they're at in their comfort level and their ability to go in and make throws. So as far as depth goes, we feel like we've got 4 guys we can win with, and now we get to go into kind of some opportunities in the preseason and let all 4 of those guys get some time and start really building what we're looking for from an offensive, united kind of inline, everybody knowing what to do, how to do it, and playing together. It's very, very important. Nolan and I met with both of the players this morning and had, great dialogue with those guys, as well as meeting with our team, shortly thereafter to make sure that, as I've said all along, it would go the players, the team, and then the first stop we got, letting you guys know as well. So, we'll move forward. Kyler will begin, the process of really looking at things now as our starter. We'll still be getting JJ a lot of work, a lot of reps, because it's very important that his development and ongoing growth and arrow up that we feel very positively about continues. As we not only work through the rest of training camp, but specifically even in regards to this week, as we're kind of doing a little bit of a mock week type of week for us. We'll do some normal down work today. We'll get into some pass likely stuff tomorrow, and then we'll do some third down, shrink the field little work like you guys have seen us do during the regular season. We're going to play our guys. We can get into it a little bit later in the week, kind of what that looks like. But we're going in and told the team everybody plan on playing, and every individual player will have their own kind of program and plan for the game on Saturday. I know that's a lot, but I just wanted to be as open and open it up to you guys from here.
You were not lying. That was a lot, my guy. That was like a 6-7 minute ramble. There was like a good minute to a minute and a half we could have cut out of that speech right there, Kevin. But it's fine. Beggars won't be choosers. I like the Kyler Murray move. I'm a Kyler Murray guy. Low key, like I can already envision Kyler Murray having some like back when he had DeAndre Hopkins. I can see that connection happening with Justin Jefferson. He can throw that thing. And so I am never mad about getting someone out there who can do that well. And Kevin spoke to all the good points about him. You could tell when he was talking about JJ, there was definitely some discomfort. He was looking a lot harder at his notes. He was like, let me make sure I get all these little good things down. And, it's always awkward when, you don't get the opportunity to a guy that you can tell put in a lot of work. I am still curious to know, like, how much he'll play in the preseason. And Vikings fans, I'm curious how y'all feel about this. Let me know in the comments. But I do want to see some growth and steps forward in the preseason for JJ McCarthy to kind of speak to some of the work that he's done. So if Kyler does get hurt or he isn't playing that great, we can feel decent about JJ McCarthy as a backup to him. And then the last thing I'll say, because my ramble's getting long too, is that I do like that they solidified the QB1 spot early before the first preseason game, so these guys can work on timing and fix their problems. You see, and you will see this with other teams like the Browns and other teams that don't have a QB1. More than likely, they're going to be a little rusty in the regular season because they don't have the timing down with the players they're actually going to be on the field with once the season kicks off. But, beggars can't be choosers. Good stuff for the Vikings. Let's go.
Did Nolan have any concern at the outset that whoever did emerge as the eventual winner in this thing might fall a little bit behind by not taking all the reps, or was that just seen as kind of a necessary evil in the process?
I think it was important. I think it was important not only for Kyler coming in new, when at some, there can be some parts of that where I think it was a positive seeing another guy with the same type of group that you're out there with, whether it's the ones or twos. They took reps with both. Go in there and run a lot of the same principles as we installed. Some installs match up better than others. Some plays are better than others versus, what Flo tries to do every day. It's an incredible challenge. So they've clearly been stressed every day from that matter. But, it's just the appropriate time now that to allow, our team and everybody clarity for exactly the direction we're moving going forward.
Is JJ the backup?
Yes. Yeah, you'll see him still take a ton of reps today, and we want to be absolutely mindful of not only where he's at right now and where we think he can get to as well by the start of the season.
Come on, reporters, give me some hard-hitting questions.
We've just learned over the years, we don't hold the cards. We need as many guys comfortable and ready, and I think, even though maybe the news was tough this morning, he went into this thing trying to battle and win this thing. He's ready to go, and the guys on this team love him. We love him. Just the reaction, even when I told the team for both those guys, this has been a total, complete organizational effort that, tried to communicate at an elite level with everybody involved, including you guys as best as I could. But, this is the direction we're going and moving forward.
What was the reaction of the team? Like, that's what I want to know. Like, were they jumping up and down excited because Kyler's starting? Were they like, oh, okay, good stuff, man? Because they felt kind of bad for JJ and they might have wanted him to play a little bit. I can't imagine that from what I saw last year from JJ, but growth and development happens for young quarterbacks, so I'm not ready to give up on him completely.
Injuries happen. Do you see JJ having a future with the organization outside of whether there's going to be an injury or not?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to me, he's still a guy that's only played 10 games. He's shown improvement off of last year, even in this training camp with the work he's put in and his comfort level just growing a little bit day in and day out. I'm still very excited to continue to, get to work with him every single day, coach him. And I truly, as he knows, he's holding the pen on his story, and we're going to support him and try to just help him continue to improve as a young player at the most difficult position in sports. And he's got to also understand this isn't just a long-term mindset, which we want to have always for a player his caliber and a young player like him, but it could be an immediate response needed. And JJ's the kind of guy that'll be ready to rock and roll. I know that.
This is a good response from him. Like, really talking up JJ, really saying like, hey, there's a long-term vision for you. I do want a little bit more clarity on just specifically where JJ fell behind Kyler. Like, I want some more pointed questions.
What was the tipping point between like the 10 practices? What did you see on film or live in practice that separated them and ended the competition?
Yeah, I think, not to dive too far into it, but what I would say is, there's moments in time where there's comfort from Kyler in the scheme. He had some really high completion days where, he was able to show some really, really good understanding of just putting the ball in play, playing with great timing, rhythm. You guys have seen him be explosive when there's opportunities there, but you've also seen him check the ball down and put the ball in play and get us from a 1st and 10 to a 2nd and 3. And then, as you continue to look at the body of work through those 10 days, what jumped out is what could be. And at some point in this thing, knowing the timeline we had and knowing that we needed to do some sort of a projection based upon, a lot of those things. And then as the installs piled up and you'd see a little bit of a slowdown from a processing standpoint, it would then, maybe the next day there was an immediate response. And just some of those things bode really, really well for his role now as we lock in on this thing and try to do the best we can to prepare him, as well as, the one-on-one that can take place with me and him, as well as doing things that he's comfortable with within the confines of how we want to be with our philosophy on offense.
I mean, that makes sense. All of that tracks. It's just experience, more consistent, boring answers, Kevin. Give me something juicy.
Is this a tough call or a close call, your
Yes.
decision?
Yeah, it absolutely is, just because what they put into it, and what they put into it, and our original intent from really the first time I talked to you guys last season all the way up until now. This has been an important part of the growth and development of not only individual players, but the 2026 Minnesota Vikings, with the intent of always wanting to do what we thought was best for the team, but not sacrifice the ability to really get some of that growth and development through a competitive process with these two guys. And I think benefited both those guys and maybe accelerated some things, and maybe also, let us know exactly where we're at with both guys and in our attempt to get them both ready. Even if JJ's a snap away, that's really, really important, as we've learned here.
This this PR team deserves a raise, because these questions, there's like no lapses in judgment, no mistakes made yet, and everything just makes sense. But I do want more details.
Either of them any preseason game time?
Yes, they'll both play on Saturday.
You start to envision what it could be. Are you talking about his ability to play off schedule?
I think I'm just talking about in general, what we think he can be in our offense, and that is with Kyler, that's a part of it, but at the same time, he's also demonstrated rhythm, timing, anticipation, getting through progressions by how we talk about reads in a timely manner that can help avoid negative plays, even sacks, or not being in the rhythm and timing of how we work through progressions. All of those are opportunities for completions. All of those are opportunities to set up other things. We're running the football very, very well against a really good defense right now. It's a battle every single day, but our ability to then marry our pass game to that on the early downs and try to really put defenders in conflict. And then, clearly with, his ability and what he's done in this league athletically, that's, we want to find the best possible way to activate that on, as part of some plays, but at the same time, he's going to go be a football player in those moments. And, we've even seen it in training camp, some of those moments. He has not turned the football over a lot, but one of the turnovers the other night was off of a movement, off schedule, did a great job getting up and out. And then, it's a turnover with Zay getting him on that as a cloud corner, kind of sinking underneath Justin right there. So those are learnable, teachable moments, but it's going to be about protecting the football, because we know it's well documented. We win a lot of football games when we break even or better in that margin, and our quarterback has a clear role in that amongst all 11 on offense.
Does this allow Kyler, or would it allow any NFL quarterback in this situation to assert himself more as a leader now that it's, okay, this is your offense?
Yeah, I think so. But, like I told JJ, his, elite traits as a leader and what he is in that locker room, none of that changes, and our players feel the same way towards him. It's about, Kyler really assuming the role. So now that as we go through the process of schematically, fundamentals, how we're building what we're asking of him, having the dialogue with him of how we, best do things that he's comfortable with, and are there some things he likes that he needs to get more comfortable with, we can now curtail it to, that's really what we're all talking about by the time between now and the season. But yeah, absolutely, the ability to walk in that huddle and command has been part of this throughout the whole process, because I think that's a non-negotiable for the quarterback position in any offense at any level. From a standpoint of running the show, calling the play, being really, really, demonstrative, and everybody knowing exactly what to do, because then we can hold everybody else accountable to, who knows where to go, what to do, and how to do it, and that's where we move forward from here. And quite honestly, I like where our team's at, but across the board, it's early enough where we're still seeing too much of that, and that's the challenge for our whole team on a daily basis, is how many plays can we have all 22 guys on the field doing the job, and sometimes the defense wins, sometimes we win on offense, but the most important thing is that there's a bunch of stuff to coach off of, and guys are gaining confidence, not always through just success. It might be, learning exactly how something's going to need to be done off of a rep that will then help them when the real ball starts.
Bro, not gonna lie, I do a lot of these videos, and I'm pretty good at listening to the coaches and figuring out what they're saying. But my guy just talks, and I get lost the more he goes. Everything he says makes sense, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just it's a me thing. It's a me thing, more likely than not. Maybe it's not. But I'm tracking, and I feel like my biggest concern with all of this is the question itself was silly. Hey, is Kyler going to be more of a leader? If you're not already a leader at the quarterback position when you come in, Get out of here. You being a starter isn't going to change anything, which is why what he said about JJ still having that role, still being a leader in the room made complete sense. And then everything else after that was kind of just a lot of yapping.
What kind of leader is Kyler? You mentioned JJ has this elite leader. What's Kyler like?
Yeah, I think he's ultra competitive. I think it's clear he loves football. I think he carries a certain amount of, presence to him when he walks in the huddle. And obviously, what we've been able to see over not only the spring, where he called a lot of plays, but throughout training camp is just the comfort now in what we're doing and what we need out of him. And then, I think it's the accountability side too. He's real quick, to put it on himself, in a film session with the guys or whatever it is that, that's a great route. I'll hit that. That's on me. And, he may not be the rah-rah guy and the guy that, everybody looks to for that, energy of, explosion, like maybe some of our other captains or some of the other leaders we've had here. But I think it's going to be his presence, and I think it's going to be his professional approach, and then hopefully his improvement and comfort so that, the truest, best version of him can come out. And our offense is what we've tried to do in the past with other quarterbacks as well.
Kevin, you've talked a lot about quarterback journeys over the years. JJ's has been an interesting one. How do you think this shapes his journey, or how do you hope it shapes his journey?
Look, he's a young player with a whole bunch of outstanding things in his future. I genuinely believe that JJ's gonna work as hard as ever, just because the immediate temporary result wasn't exactly what he's wanted. I know he's going to be ready to go. I know he's going to continue to improve, and the long-term mindset of him as a Minnesota Viking and all the things that he's brought here is still absolutely part of the long-term vision for sure. And I'm excited to see him go do that and get to do it with him.
I would have really liked to hear him say, I know for a fact JJ McCarthy can be a starter one day in his future. That would have been like the Hail Mary type of response. But hey, he's just being honest, low-key. He's like, yeah, he's still going to keep working hard. He's going to keep developing, and I'm excited to see where he goes with that. Beggars can't be choosers. Good stuff, though. I am excited about Kyler Murray. I think I'm higher on the Vikings than a lot of people are, because I do believe Kyler Murray can be more consistent with good coaching. I do still believe Kevin O'Connell can be a good coach. He's on the hot seat a bit, but hopefully they can get on track here. And I think they've made some good changes to their defense too, where that should be a bit of a force too. So all in all, good stuff, Vikings. Let me know what y'all are thinking. Don't forget, like, subscribe if you would like to. If not, peace out. I'll see y'all next time.